We're continuing the player ratings. We're on to the attackers. Let's get into this. Let me start with Kevin Morales. 2.
Got not to offer.
Say no more. Kevin Morales at 2. Theo Walcott obviously came in January.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him an 8. Just because I think his performance were immediate.
Yeah.
And he's added something to the team, to the point where he's not in the team, you see the difference. And I think he's really added something. And I think, listen, he's had his off days, but he's always a threat. And I think when you've got a threat on the pitch, people worry about you. And I think that's been really important. And I think obviously the more threats you have on the pitch and how you connect them all together is the most important thing. But I think for coming in January, I think the way he's, not only the way he's played, the way he's put himself about the club. Do you know what I mean? He just seems a really nice lad. Who who's going, you know what, I can be the main man here. I can be a real important part of real role model and all the other things that come with it. And I think he's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with any of that because he did make an instant impact. You see, the first game was West Brom, wasn't it? And he wasn't great, but he was involved in the equaliser, wasn't he? But then after that, when he kind of knew, we kind of knew how he played, he got better and better and better. And you're right, he's an absolute threat. He's there to turn a pace because he's done it year after year in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Teams are wary of him because of that pace, the turn a pace. Movement is brilliant. He has the days when his finishing's not great, like Burnley away, could have put the game beyond them. But then there's other times when he scores important goals, the 2 against Leicester were important. So Stoke away, the cross for Tosun. So he is important. He's going to be an important part of everything we do going forward. He's come into the club, he's embraced everything about it. He's a really well-spoken, level-headed kind of footballer. He's very positive. Talking everything up. So he's been great. He's been a joy to watch really as he's come in because he's took. Everything he's done has been classy. I think that's probably the way. I'd like. So he's been fantastic addition. And made up his ear basically. Made up. It's not a loan, and it's could we get made up his ear and I can't wait to see him. And he's had a good pre-season and he knows he's part of that team and with a good attacking coach. Because I think he suffered near the end with Sam, because Sam just became self-preservation man once we'd got the wins. And I don't think we attacked as much as we should have done. But look at the goal at Huddersfield that he picks up. It's a loose ball and he's on it, bing bing, dances around 3, puts Tosun in, great finish. So I think he's been very, very good.
Excellent.
Made up with him.
Yannick Bolasie, a player who obviously didn't get going until Boxing Day because of the injury, been out for obviously over a year. Very tough return for him. It's a hard one, this one, isn't it? Because I feel like at times Yannick Bolasie stops Yannick Bolasie from playing or doing the simple things. And I think when he came into the side, he was keeping it nice and he was keeping it quite tidy and just doing the simple things. And I don't know. I don't know if he's such a frustrating player because when he simplifies his game, I think he's a lot better than when he's trying to do a million FIFA tricks. I'd give him a 5 because I just don't think he's got going. Yes, he's got some assists and scored the goal against Man City, but he can be so frustrating. And also I think at times when he's playing and the system doesn't suit him, he just goes, I'll leave that, thanks. And I think fans are a bit wary of all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's hard to be too critical because the injury was so bad. A year out, more than a year out with a knee injury is bad. The injury was really severe. And he's had good days and bad days. To be fair, he's probably had more bad days than good days.
Yeah.
I think he was involved in 5 or 6 of our goals after Christmas. So that's not a bad return. But the assists he gets are when he just simplifies his game, like you said. It's too much tricks for tricks' sake, and you're going, just run the lad. You've got the power, but I don't think he's ready to run flat. He hadn't been ready to run flat out, probably just through confidence really in his body. Now he's finished the season, he's gone away. Pre-season will be big for him. Listen, I can see Everton listening to offers for him without a shadow of a doubt. He might not get any, so it's up to him to build himself up and prove. If he wants to stay at the club, he's got to earn his place now. He's got to earn that respect, because Marcel Brands didn't bring him in, Marco Silva didn't bring him in, you know. So if he wants to stay here, he's in the same boat as everybody else now. You know, clean slate. Can you produce?
Definitely. Yeah.
If you could simplify his game and just got him running at people, he'd be an asset, because he's powerful and he's quick. But too many FIFA tricks, like you said, stop any productivity. Yeah,
definitely. He needs to just cut all that.
And Tosun's knees are going to go with having to stop, bend his runs and turn back, because he's not crossing the ball when he needs it. Peter Beagley syndrome.
Cenk
Tosun, I'm going to give him, I thought about an 8, but I'm going to give him a 7. The reason why I thought an 8 is because his conversion rate's very good, given we don't create any. I think he's had 12 shots and scored 5 goals. So that gives me a lot of confidence, a lot of hope for next season, that if we can actually get someone in, an attacking manager, which we know and we all know it's probably going to be Marco Silva, who is an attack-minded manager, then he should have more opportunities, Tosun. And I think the more opportunities we give him, the more goals he'll score, because he's a finisher. I think his link play's very good, his touch is good. He's not the quickest, but he's good in the air. And I think he will benefit more from us being a bit more attacking. Starving him of chances in games doesn't get the best out of anybody.
Yeah, I think it's probably be about the same. I know in a few player rating videos I did, I had to give him like 5s or 6s or whatever. I don't think 5, I had to give him a few 6s. But it was purely out of the fact that he just didn't touch the ball in the game enough. And how can you give someone a high score if they didn't touch the ball enough? Do you know what I mean? So I know a lot of Turkish viewers weren't too happy about that.
But you've also got to take into, because we're doing it now, take into account the fact he come from a different league, different country, halfway through the season. He'd had a little break, so he wasn't sharp.
And he had to get used to the Premier League. You know, he came in and then he went out and then he came back in again and he got the goals, and it was just about, I think if you give that lad chances, I do think he needs to get better himself. His all-round game needs to get a little bit better. I think he needs to put himself in positions at times where people know he's going to be. So, you know, if they just throw a ball in, know he's going to be in there. But again, that's about relationship building, and I think now it'll be a clean slate. Now a new manager will come in and start creating those relationships and saying, this is how we're going to play every week. So this is where I expect you to be. I think in the last few years, it doesn't matter whether it's who it's been, we haven't had a pattern of play. So you just give the ball to Lukaku and you know what you're going to get.
I think with Tosun, he's a hard worker as well, though, and I think that's why the fans like him as well. He never stops running, and that's great. That'll be great for Silva, because he'll press from the front. But what'll happen is others will press with him, because that's the way he wants to play. So I think he will benefit, and he'll also benefit from the pre-season. Those first 5 or 6 weeks on the training, all right, there'll be friendlies as well, but on the training ground, getting the message over. I think that will benefit his all-round game.
Definitely. Ademola Lookman, again, he's one of these players that we didn't see a lot of. I mean, if we rated him on his Leipzig stuff, he'd probably get like an 8. But you can't really say too much about him.
He just had cameos, didn't he? Played in some games. Word up, some games he couldn't put it all together. You'd start and you'd be like, he's not quite there.
Do you know what?
Then he come on against like Watford and was brilliant, and Liverpool he was outstanding.
But I will give him. But I think if I have to give him a rating, I'd probably give him a 5, because I think that there was games where he came on that I wanted so much more out of him, and he didn't give me. There's games where just this general play, and this might come down to the managers that were playing him and the situation we were in, but he picks the ball up far too deep and then tries to take people on. He did it early on in the season. I remember him when we played Split away, and he got took off at half time because he was so poor. He was losing the ball.
He's gone by then.
He was losing the ball in areas. I think they scored the first goal, their goal, by 4 of them just getting around them on the edge on the halfway line, taking the ball off him and moving, because he was doing stuff in the wrong areas. He so wants to take people on, but he hadn't quite got in tune where he was doing. Later, when he was playing for Leipzig, they just played him around the box. They just said, get the ball around the box and do what you're doing. He's a centre forward. He's a number 10. He's a player. He's not actually a winger, because he doesn't. His skills don't actually work out there. You've got to have. I don't think he wants to take players on, and I just don't think at the moment he's got the game to do that. So you've got to put him in places where he affects the game. And I think that's all the Leipzig have done. They've just put him around the box, because that's where players can't commit. That's where you can get one-on-one with a defender. Whereas for us, he kept on trying to do all the work just as he was getting into the opposition half. Then 3 or 4 players can card you out, and because you're on the wing, you've only got one way. You've only got one way to go.
He's done that though, hasn't he? That's what we'd seen. Remember the year before at Stoke away, when Koeman put him on and he was picking the ball up in our half and like running, and they were just taking it off him. It's like, do it edge of their box and then commit players and all of that. And I think the Leipzig stuff will really benefit him. The fact he's gone to a league and played in the top division and done very, very well. I think there's only Lewandowski with a better ratio finishing in the Bundesliga in the second half of the season. So it shows you, doesn't it? It shows you that
there's a player there.
So I think again, with a manager who goes, this is your role. You see, I could see Silva playing him like Richarlison.
Yeah,
which is one of the front 3.
Got to be high up the pitch.
That's what I mean.
To start he's not a player that you go, do us a favour, run back, will you? He's just not that kind of player. You want him in the advanced positions so that he's ready. He's also, I think, in a counter-attacking side, I think he'd be really important as well. You think we've seen that when the goal against Liverpool in the cup. He counter-attacking when there's space. When there's space and he can start running into it with the ball. I think once he is quick, but he needs to just get away from that first player, and he couldn't. He wasn't doing that for us. So he does need to. He needs to improve if he comes back and just put that all together. We've only got a couple more to go. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he gets a 7 from me, because I think overall he's had a really good season for a young lad. Being at the club a couple of years, come from Sheffield United. This season, I think his all-round game has improved so much. Listen, his actual putting the ball at the back of the net needs to improve massively. I fully appreciate that. It has to improve massively, but I think his all-round game has improved massively. His understanding how you play in the Premier League has improved massively. Where to be, what to do, how to affect the opposition has improved massively. He's scored goals. He's created goals this season. Again, he's a young player. It's not all quite there. But in terms of saying to a lad, well, what can we do to improve you? Everything has to go up, of course, but in terms of like massively improve, it's like, if you get your finishing sorted, you're going to become a bit more of an you're going to become a very good all-round striker that we can rely on, that we can use in different places. And that's for me why I get to 7.
If he can improve his finishing, I think he'd be more involved in the England setup as well. Because if you're looking at English strikers, there's not one like him. Now, Vardy's probably the closest, but I think Dom's much better in the air. So who can run in behind? Kane's not a runner in behind. Then after that, Rashford plays more on the wing. I think Dom could. Those two lads
do score a lot of goals, though.
Let's get that right. No, they do. But I'm saying he'd be a good option. There's not many there, is there? So not that I'm asked about England anyway. I just mean from his perspective. But I think for us, Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm critical of him sometimes because his finishing's woeful, and that's an important part of him, really, that he's got to work on. But the improvement from him from the year before to this year, and then the improvement from Stoke on the first day to the last game he played, you know, again, it's gone up a level. He's been involved. I think he scored 7 goals and had 6 assists or something like that, which is not a bad return at all. You know, he should have had the winner in the derby.
He should have. He'd be a hero forever.
Absolute sitter. But that's the challenge now for him. You know, he's off this summer, isn't he? He'd be away with England, but for his back injury, so he's got to rest, and then he's got to come back and work hard. He could bulk up a little bit. Just a little bit.
See, he will do. Naturally, he'll bulk up. He seems a very level-headed lad.
Does, yeah.
You know, he started the season with a girlfriend. He finished the season playing FIFA a lot with Tom Davies. So he's he
knows what's happening.
Well, does he though? Not from the pics I seen.
No. No, it's a you know, he's a good all-round player. Whether he'll be a top-class striker, we don't know, because, like I've said before, people wouldn't have said Harry Kane would be what he was a few years ago. So if he can get those, if he can put the ball in the net a little bit more, then he will be coming.
If he's someone you can start relying to putting the ball in the back of the net. I mean, it's a case of, like, if you had him with Tosun up front, let's just say for some games, not all games, you've got more of a sort of finisher and a old-fashioned number 9 centre forward. And I don't listen. I wasn't around at the time, but I was, but not watching Everton as such. But he does sort of remind me of a young Graham Sharp, in terms of what he can do on the pitch. Sharp wasn't this goal scorer straight away. Something that came and then he started scoring, you know, consistent levels of goals over years. If he can start scoring a consistent, it's almost you can just say, well, Dom, you know you're going to get 10 goals a season out of him. If you can say that, if you can, your second striker can get you 10 goals a season, then that's what I'm saying. It's a consistency, isn't it? Yeah. If we can start saying that, I mean, obviously you want your second goal scorer to get 15, so your first goal scorer to get to 20. But if you can start finding that level of consistency, then he'll do all right. And
what's good about him is you can throw him on in any role and he'll work for you. He'll do the role to the best of his ability, and that's important. So if he goes off the left, he'll work. If he's played left back and right back and everything for us, right wing. He's also a snide little. He is. You know, the penalty he won at Anfield was so intelligent.
But a young player wouldn't necessarily believe that they could affect the game like that. Do you know what I mean? A lot of young players there would be like, well, if I hold it up and I do this and I do that, then that's because that's what the manager's told me to do. I mean, the manager might have told him to do that, but that instance and other instances over the season of sort of, you know, you can see that actually there's a lot going on upstairs, and he knows that he can affect the game in different ways.
Against Brighton, I know ultimately Dooney missed it, but he just knocked it over the lad's head. He
manipulated the situation,
waited for him, and then Duffy was on his back and he went down. It was soft, but it was a penalty, and you know that.
Listen, if he'd scored that goal against Liverpool, he'd have a 9, wouldn't he? Because that's the difference between in a season. You turn around and go, he's been in the majors.
Well, that would have been the high point, wouldn't it? We'd have actually beat them for a change, and he'd have got the winner. So yeah, you're right.
Last but not least, Oumar Niasse.
Oumar
Niasse.
I'm going to give him an 8.
Do you know what? I'm going to give him an 8 because I think that where he came from this season, never playing for Everton again, never ever playing for Everton again, to be put back into the first team squad, and it was almost like, yeah, he's in the squad, but we'll wait and see what happens. Coming on against Sunderland, scoring the goal, which was a magnificent goal, by the way, getting the 2 against Bournemouth to win the game, which were massive, and then the story started. And then you seen him in games like, you know, when he scored against Palace, and then obviously he got the ban, everyone was like, fucking hell, we've lost Niasse. And everyone was devastated because you'd lost him.
The goal scorer.
You know, he scored against West Brom when we needed a goal. He kept on popping up with just
Watford, when the game was running away from us, 2-0 down, he got the first goal. Arsenal was one of his best goals of the season, because it was 4-1 and it was in the 93rd minute, and he chased the ball down, took it off Cech and scored. You know, and that was it. You know, it was a cracking goal at West Ham on the last day of the season. So, you know, he knows how to put the ball in the net. That's the thing. People rip him and go, he's not good enough, he's not this and he's not that. But for a player, for a centre forward who's a sub, say, he's a good sub to have, because he knows how to put the ball in the net.
He works hard.
He's a hard worker.
Doesn't cause any trouble. No, just sort of is happy. He's kept on. You know, he said loads of times, "I want to be here. I love it at Everton. I want to be here." You know, you've seen his reactions when he's warming up and things are happening, and he's like, I think his reaction wasn't it when Dom missed the chance against Liverpool, and he was like, he seems to really enjoy the chance, and you just think if they put him in the European squad, you know, and got him games, who knows what you know, just key little things like not having a striker going against Lyon and things like that would have been a massive difference. So yeah, he's an 8 for me just because of his
I'm not, listen, people go on about it, and if Everton could get a better striker to go with Tosun, then fair enough, you know, we'd sell him on, but I wouldn't be advocating. I mean, it depends. There's a lot of factors, isn't it, as to whether you keep him. He's been very good for us this season. People shouldn't, you know, try and rewrite that. Whether you like him or you think he's not good enough or whatever. He's scored key goals, made goals. His thing at Huddersfield the other week when he come on as sub, you know, the cross, the cross, and Garner finished it. You know, he's played a big part in it. He come on against Southampton when the game was running away from us, and you know, we got a goal ultimately because of him.
But he's overlooked at times. He was overlooked during the season, and you're thinking because of other, you know, and you're thinking he would have done the job there or whatever. I just think his story this season, and it's sad that it hasn't been capped off with going to the World Cup. When his stats are much better.
Well, that could have helped twofold, couldn't it? If we're going to get rid of him, it would have helped that he was in the No, but you know what I'm saying, and it would have helped him personally anyway, so it is a bit disappointing he's not gone, but especially when he took that chief from Stoke, he's woeful. There you have it. They have been our player ratings. Let us know your thoughts. We haven't missed anyone, have we? No. Can't really do all the kids, you know, name all the kids who played against Limassol, you know, away. Can't even remember half those kids. Fraser Hornby done well.
Yeah, Fraser Hornby.
And Morgan Feeney appeared a couple of times. Looks like a decent prospect.
Yeah, there you go. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell us who you think had a great season or a terrible season. Let us know. Thanks for watching all of these player ratings. We'll see you later.